What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Walter, and if you're not, then welcome back. Today I'm going to be sharing 5 tips that you can do to become a better software engineering student. These are tips that have helped me and that keep helping me when I get stuck in school or when I just feel like I really can't do anything more. These tips really have helped me become and get to where I am today, and I thought I'd share them with you guys because I know that a lot of you guys may also be feeling a little demotivated or sometimes not sure on where to go with the whole coding and programming stuff, and if you want to get an industry level job, then these things can be confusing sometimes. So today I'm going to be telling you 5 things that you can do to become a better student overall and hopefully get you through those tough times like they are getting me right now. So without further ado, let's get started. So just to give you guys some background, I'm currently interning at Microsoft this summer as an Explorer intern, which is a combination of software engineering and program management. And I just wanted to let you guys know that because I think that if these tips have helped me so far to land an internship at Microsoft and even programs at IBM and Google, then I'm so sure that they may help you land your dream job or even just help you elevate to a next level and have you be a little more happy in the field. You know, that's just kind of my hope. So without further ado, I just want to let you guys know that that's kind of where I'm coming from, my background, and without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so tip number 1 is going to be pretty silly, but watch SWE YouTubers. I know that for me, when I was first starting out, I looked to YouTube to sort of find and feel like I was a part of the whole programming and coding community, and this really helped me a lot actually. Sometimes I didn't really know a specific type of technology, whether that be front end. I didn't really know what front end was at the time, and even Python, I didn't understand what those two could be used for or anything like that, and so watching a video really made it easy for me to understand and piece things together, and I got a better understanding of what programming was and what coding was by watching videos on YouTube. In addition, looking at people talk about what they needed to do for their interviews or what mistakes they made during the interview process really helped me craft my resume and allowed me sort of to prepare myself for that internship level question or just process overall, and that really helped me a lot when applying to stuff like Microsoft and even other programs. Apart from being informational, comedy speaks all languages, so for me, a lot of the things that I saw were so relatable and so funny because I felt those same things, like debugging or running into an error and just not having stuff work or similar errors, hashtag segmentation fault. But all these things made me feel like I was definitely struggling with them, with the YouTubers, and it just made me really happy to know that I was in that same circle. And I have to give a shout out to my favorite SWE YouTuber, Jomatech. I've loved his videos. Joma, if you're watching, oh my gosh, your videos have made me and my whole undergrad experience coding in college so much more enjoyable. We actually saw one of Joma's videos for my software systems class, and it was so funny, and he does really great stuff, and I mean, shout out to you, man. So tip number 2 is very similar to tip number 1, and that's watching shows about programming. Now, very similar to YouTube videos, shows about programming make you want to be a part of that community and actually sometimes make you want to be a part of the cast. For me, Silicon Valley, a show that my roommate showed me this past semester, has helped me learn and made coding a lot more enjoyable. I felt like I was a part of the cast when I had to actually code something up for homework, and I was able to talk with my old roommate about things in the show that people did that I saw in my class, and it was just a really funny and perfect way to relate to engineers and developers alike, and honestly it just made the whole process a lot more enjoyable. Leave it in the comments down below, do you guys use tabs or spaces? Because that's a really big one. Other shows that helped me get into software engineering or just coding in general were Mr. Robot, but I didn't really finish Mr. Robot because of the episodes. They were a little too long for me, to be honest, and I didn't get into it that much, but it's a great show and it's about cybersecurity engineering, and I mean, hey, if that show speaks a lot more to you than Silicon Valley, then by all means go ahead and try it. But definitely try to get yourself into a programming show so that way you surround yourself, like I said, in that sort of community and visually just have a blast and have a couple of laughs. Tip number 3 has to do with doing leak code, questions, and answers. And I'm going to explain that in a little bit. Especially when preparing for your technical interviews, LeetCode is probably the most daunting experience I've ever had to come across. Easy problems seemed very difficult for me, and I just didn't think that I was built for the role. What helped me was the following technique. Number 1, start with an easy or medium level question depending on where you're at. For me, that was easy. For sure, easy. 2, take 15 minutes and try to solve the problem. It doesn't really need to pass any test cases. It can honestly just be pseudocode as well. 3, if you're not able to solve or get the question right in those 15 minutes, like 99% of the time for me, then go ahead and look at the solutions, look at the answers. Try finding one that makes sense, and or even try finding one that has a video. Or maybe even look up the answer on YouTube. This really helps. 4, work on a notepad or a whiteboard until you are actually able to understand and solve the problem on your own. Do not memorize the code. Make sure you understand what is going on and why they're doing what they're doing. Now, step 5, which is the last part of this technique, is to try the problem the following day without any help. Try to see if you understanding it is able to allow you to solve the problem without any help. And if you're able to do it, then you're ready to move on to the next question, whether that be easy or medium. This was my approach when I was preparing for my technical interview at Microsoft, and it honestly helped me a lot. And it's the technique that I go to all the time when I'm grinding for LeetCode. Tip number 4 is make a friend that is willing to talk or work about coding or programming with you. Making a friend makes anything you learn that much more enjoyable. I was lucky to have that person be my roommate. My roommate and I were interested in the same major, and it allowed us to talk about issues and just talk to someone that we both trusted. Grinding LeetCode alongside him was a challenge for sure. And oftentimes he beat me when solving a problem, but I would ask him about his implementation and he would have to answer and try to explain, and that helped him and it helped me because he had to explain his answer to make sure he actually understood the problem and his solution, and I got to see someone who solved the question in a different way, and maybe that sparked some sort of new solution for me to code up. That type of collaborative work was beneficial for the both of us. So I suggest you find a friend or find someone that you can do that with. So tip number 5, the last tip I have for you in terms of becoming a better software engineering student, is apply to as many programs as you can. Applying to summits, programs, and conferences can be very empowering as a student in general, but specifically in tech as well. I was able to be selected for programs at IBM and Google, and they have been nothing short of amazing. They've been empowering and have allowed me to actually step foot into what a big tech company is like and what the culture is like at these big places that are known all over the world. And if possible, these programs actually help you apply to the software engineering internship the following summer for that specific company. Having your foot in the door at these big tech companies allows you to have a slightly better chance at gaining an interview. And if you get to that step, it gives you a great shot at obtaining an offer. And that's it. I hope you get to try these tips, and if they work for you and if you're using them, please let me know down in the comments, because I would love to know that you are using something that I'm putting out there. To be really honest with all you guys, I do all of these things whether I'm just programming on my own for my internship or even in college. I do these things to get me through those hard times when I'm programming in general. Sometimes it really is the little things that do make the difference. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching the video, and until I see you next, stay cool.